Hey, everyone. We are gonna call to order. I'm gonna call to order this Town of Ulysses Comp Plan Steering Committee meeting. Today is February 5th, 2025. Our first item here is to do roll call. So
Local line, planning board.
Neil Stegeson, town planner.
Roxanne Marino, Conservation Sustainability Advisory Council.
Liz Butherby's town board.
I'm sorry, I was trying to
who I
pull
am.
this
or
up
what-
at the same time and I was not working.
And Capetta, and I'm on this committee and I am a co-chair with Liz. And I guess that's, oh, we have Diane on in the waiting room, so do we wanna let her introduce herself? Okay, heard her. Here we go. Hey, Diane, we just did roll call. Do you want to just tell us who you are? But you're on mute if you're telling us. Or maybe she'll tell us
Sorry,
later.
are you asking me? My audio wasn't quite set up. Is that for me?
Yeah, we're just doing roll call. Do you want to?
Yep, I couldn't hear you. Yep, Diane Cohen, member of the Ulysses Comp Plan Steering Committee.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, so our next item is the approval of the agenda. So did everybody get to see the agenda for today?
Yeah.
Now, were there any?
I didn't get to see it, but
Oh,
it's okay.
Can you get onto the town website?
Yeah, I know it's, Neil told me it's on the town website. I
Oh.
usually just take it off his email link, which is wrong. So,
Oh,
it's okay.
yeah, it worked for me.
It's
Yeah.
not working for me now. It
Right,
did work for me earlier.
yeah, but now it's not. Yeah, I
No.
know.
right.
That's our website. You can't really change a document, swap it out. So the only thing that changed is the timeline. If you
Oh,
look at
yeah.
it, if you look at it before.
Okay, I saw it. I'm all set.
Could we just, I don't see on here, we see a priorities discussion. Is that gonna include scheduling that?
That'll be scheduling it for the next meeting. Yep.
And the focus group 4?
Focus group 4.
Okay, yeah, I want to ask that too. And also maybe a little update on the survey, like where we're at.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, if we could add that.
Okay, do you wanna
And then
just add that into your section or?
Yeah, that's fine. I can
Okay.
kind of just overview that before we do our vision exercise.
Okay. Okay, that'd be great.
and then pushing the review of the existing conditions reports next month. There's still work that is going to be done on that.
Oh, okay, B.
5B. Yep.
Okay, so 5B is gonna be next month. And then we're adding to 5, before 5A, we'll do a survey update. Okay. Okay, any other amendments or changes or comments? Okay, so that's good. We just need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I will second it.
Oh, all in favor? Aye, all right. Do I have to ask if people are opposed?
I think they would normally say no or nay.
You can just have a consent agenda and
Yeah.
if no one disapproves, you're good.
I guess no one didn't raise.
If you don't hear everybody say
Right.
yes, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
It could be really
Say-
formal and have Molly do a roll. But we haven't done that so
For
far.
the agenda.
All right, I'll just try to be really close attention to see if everyone's nodding. All right, okay, so that was the agenda. So the next item is the approval of our past minutes. So did everyone get to see the minutes? And
Yes.
was there any, were there any changes or corrections?
Mhm.
I guess just one clarification. So these minutes were from our regular meeting. Were there any notes or anything taken during our visioning with the town board, or that is not necessary to?
It'd be- think Carissa was taking those,
Alright, so we
Yeah.
probably will see them on Tuesday night then.
I'm guessing.
Okay. Did we already see them? No, we didn't.
I haven't seen any of
No.
those.
Okay,
But probably we should see them too.
Yeah.
Once they're done, this committee, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it was a joint meeting.
Okay. Do we need to do anything about that? Is that a formal request? Or are we?
We can
Yeah.
get that from you guys. once
yeah,
we're
well, I
through.
mean, we'll have to go through it. Mary, Caitlin and I were all there, so we can go through it.
And then you can
And
just,
then
this committee can
forward it to you
just,
guys.
yeah,
And then if there's any edits or suggestion changes, we can handle it
Okay.
at the February, March 8th. meeting. I had to on it.
I know, well, March already. Okay, anything else about the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Okay, thank you, Mo.
I'll second.
Second, thank you, Liz. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't there, but if I need to vote, yes, I can, cause they look reasonable. We don't really have a quorum, so it's up to you, whatever you think, I either abstain or vote yes. But they seem fine to me, but I wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving right along, item number 4 is privilege of the floor. So this is the section of our meeting where members of the public can make general comments on items that are not related to the items on our agenda tonight. These public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board? I see Kim on Zoom. Hey, Kim. I don't know if you want to address the board, if you're just here to listen in.
I am still just here lurking in the background and thank you for checking in on me, though. I appreciate it.
Okay, nice to see you, Kim.
Nice to see you guys too. Someday maybe in person. Sorry, it's just the timing for after work.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion to close privilege of the floor.
I'll make a motion.
Mo, okay, a second.
Second.
Thank you, Liz. All in favor? All right, okay. So the next item on our agenda is new business. We're in number 5. Before we start 5A, we're gonna do a quick update on the survey. Sure.
All right, so we have the Town of Ulysses Comprehensive Plan Community Survey that's launched online, that is through Google Forms. So I checked in this morning and so far there are 40 responses that we've received. 65% live in the town of Ulysses. I have a breakdown of if they're in the village, if they're in the town, if they're in the hamlet. So I have that breakdown and I can share these with Niels afterwards if anyone just wants to see basically these pie charts of how it's all broken down. Over 50% have lived in the town of Ulysses for over 20 years. And then just some highlights that I've seen so far between the questions that are in there as well as the short answer responses. Farmland and agriculture are very important to people. Infrastructure, water and sewer was kind of a hot topic. Some people are really wanting it, some people are very against it, so it was really interesting to kind of see that dynamic, you know, whether it's like water quality or if they're running dry, things like that. So there's been responses where people have decided to expand upon that, which I think is really helpful for us just to kind of understand the context of why they gave the response that they did. A lot of people would love to see more youth engagement and community center was brought up a couple of times. And people love the small town feel and the sense of community that they have. That's something that they really cherish about living in the town of Ulysses. So I thought that was really important just to kind of give you a little bit of flavor of what we've been seeing so far with our survey responses.
did you say 40? Or
40. As far as what I've received in person, I'm not, or what I've received online, I'm not sure what the amount is for, if any have been received by the town.
I haven't seen any copies of it. I don't believe Carissa has, but I'll check with her tomorrow.
So how long did we say we're gonna?
I was just gonna ask that same question, like what is our timeline?
I think we're gonna keep it till at least the first public forum. I know we would love to have that on hand there. We can have the flyer there as well, so if people wanna scan and take it on their phone there. I certainly can have my laptop if somebody wanted to do it like on my computer, but we wanna make sure we have access to that during the forum. So I would say maybe like a week or so after that, after the forum.
It doesn't seem like there's harm in continuing to collect in
Yeah.
any way that we can, really, until something, needs to be written from it or something, so.
Absolutely, yeah, I think there's no problem keeping it open.
Yeah, and I don't know, when we review that, is that just at the very end, or are we kind of?
So as soon as we close the survey, I'll have a survey summary with all of the pie charts, all of the responses, basically all the raw responses for the steering committee to look at, and you'll be able to review it.
Great, thank you.
Is there- How can we get more than 40 people?
Yeah,
Do we have, is it in the,
I don't
my
remember,
newsletter?
has it been in there every week?
I
don't
feel like it
know.
is in the town of Ulysses.
I don't know if
The
it
email
was
from
this
Carissa.
last week, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in every.
I mean,
week.
maybe we should just re-stress to Carissa, like, we like that repeated every week. Cause
Yeah.
maybe, like, if
I
people
think it's
really
okay
read
to
it
put
every
it
time,
week.
they might, like, if they hadn't done it, they'll be like, oh, that's still happening.
Can we
so.
say when's our public forum, or we don't know?
I think that's what we're gonna
Okay.
start with
Okay,
tonight.
so, I mean, maybe we could say, that, like, have her posted every week, and
Right,
then also,
and it'll
like,
be an announcement of the forum.
you have
too.
until this date to do this. so
But
people-
also, and then there's a
know.
public forum, so come to that, so it'll make people hear it twice, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's. a good idea.
I'm just trying to think if there's like any, not necessarily maybe a town account, but are there other advisory committees that have like a social media platform, like a Facebook page or anything like that? Sometimes we've seen good traffic that way of just, sharing it online. People are
The
aware of
town
it.
has a Facebook page that we can put stuff out. It's not a page that people can comment on. But they
Sure.
could pull a QR code or a
Exactly.
link off of it, so we can ask Carissa to see if she can post it on Facebook too. I don't know if I've seen it on that.
That seems to be a way that we get a lot of, people to see it and interact with it in addition to having it at a public forum, so. That could
can we
possibly help.
share it, or should we share it directly with our list of all of our, our, whatever our master list was of our kind of affiliates, or?
The stakeholder list.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do that in emails that we have already from the previous focus groups. But also we'll be putting out a postcard, once we get notice. Once we figure out the date for the focus or the workshop and a destination and all that stuff. We'll be doing a postcard to all properties in the town,
okay,
and we can put in the link, at least, or the QR code, one of the two,
yeah,
for the survey there as well.
okay.
And we do have survey flyers that we made, and I know we distributed those at the focus group meetings, but we can also do a flyer for you as well for the public forum once we have those dates set, and then we can have that QR code on there as well.
Could I actually get, I don't know who's has it, the electronic copy of the survey flyer?
Yeah, I have
Via
it-
email.
yeah, I can send it to you. I have this PDF and it's a JPEG, so I can send
Okay,
you both.
I was talking to somebody in the high school yesterday and she was gonna try to talk to the librarian to put it at the checkout desk where they have to sign in and sign out of the
Oh,
library.
great, okay.
She was gonna talk and see if they could post it, like, have it right next to that, so when kids are in the library, they could,
Yeah,
Maybe the Ulysses Library could do that too.
yeah.
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 So maybe,
Okay.
or can you put that maybe on the, or Niels can put it on the page we have with the link so we can read it, then if we need to do that, we can get it. Share it.
Are you talking about the PDF, like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, instead of emailing,
Yeah.
if you put it on the, and let us know it's on the
SharePoint.
SharePoint,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was escaping me though.
Yep.
Yeah, then then whoever, if we have another thought, we can get it,
Mhm.
we can send it out to who. Maybe there are groups or our committees and things might have connections with people. Like the Water Source Protection Committee, I know there's someone on that that's connected with the West Shore homeowners and stuff like that, so maybe we can start doing it out that way too.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, so if you can do that, so we can just grab it if we need it, that would be helpful, if we can grab it.
yeah.
SharePoint.
What would a great number be? We have 40.
Mhm.
How many people
1,000.
are in the town?
Yeah,
6,000?
1,000 would be nice, yeah.
1,000, yeah, that would be.
Is there
a lot.
6,000 in it? Oh, no, that's
I
It's
forgot,
under-
in our, do you
It's under
remember reading our
5,000.
last
under 5.
survey, how many, we
I
had
think
a
that's
pretty
pretty
good
amazing.
response from our
I'll
last.
fit
It's
what the
unlikely.
exact number is.
But I thought it
If you get
was
10%, that's huge.
20%, maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what from our other comp plan, what the survey response was. See if we can shoot to beat that.
Let's
Yeah.
shoot for 1,000.
Maybe, yeah,
The target 1,000.
yeah.
We've got a long way to go.
Yeah, but I think if, like I said, if you have it, just
Yeah.
social media platforms,
shoot
or you
for
have
1,000
stakeholders
campaign.
that, you can send this out and then they can send, to their networks, I think that'll make a big difference, and then obviously, like I said,
Okay,
usually people really like to fill them out at the public forum, so.
so
Yeah.
we got 709 back. Last time for the 2009 one, and that is a return rate of 32% roughly, so. Yeah, we shoot for more than that.
Yeah,
And then certainly if you need, more flyers or anything like that, or however we can help facilitate, we're more than happy to.
Kim's got her hand up. Hey, Kim.
Hi there. So I just want to make sure I understand. So the digital option is a PDF, like a Google Doc, not an online fillable form that people can then submit, or is it a online fillable?
It's a Google form, so it's fillable online, so there's a link.
Oh, there we go. Over there.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it's a Google form, so if you click a link or if you scan the QR code, it'll bring you to a Google form and you can just fill it out directly on there.
Okay, so it would always be in a Google form, not like click here, here's your page, you fill out the information. I'm just thinking what's encouraging more people to do it. If there's no extra technical steps, and Google Docs for some people might be a little wonky versus just like they go to like the website, when you guys were talking about creating the separate website, the Ulysses Forward or whatever, and they're like, here, click here, and then you can fill it out and click submit and it's done.
Yeah, so it's very much set up, so like Google Forms is like the name of it, it's not an actual Google Doc, it's a form
Yeah.
that they're filling out.
So you did a true form. Thank you.
You
Sorry, I should have sorry.
And
Thank you,
people
that's-
can get it in hard copy too.
And
which
people,
is
yes, we have it available as a hard copy as well.
Yeah, I think you're going to get more interaction from people like me that share it and say, hey, you want to have a voice in the town of Ulysses, go fill this out. And it's a click link where they don't have to print anything. They don't have to mail anything in. It's just digital. Awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, it's okay, great question.
No, that's great. And I think if we can get people to send it to one person, then that, if everyone just sends it to one person, that's,
And it is
We'll
up
get
on the comp plan website that's now up.
And it's
That's
on-
how that's how I went to it.
And so
actually.
that goes from the town, like if you look on the towns, that's how you get to the comp plan website. I haven't tried that yet. It wasn't up
I
last
think
time.
that's how it works, it's
You can.
unisunited.org.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a link to the external website on the town's website.
Okay,
And
that was the
there's
question.
also a link to the survey. But
Great.
we'll put up a link to the PDF too
Yeah,
as well, so.
okay, that's great.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, maybe we should add that into the little write-up for Carissa, to post on the newsletter. It's like, if you just send this to one, if everybody sends this to one other
Yeah.
person,
send it to your neighbor.
yeah,
The town's
And
website.
get
That's
their
what- This is,
input.
yeah,
That's a SharePoint.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good idea.
So it's on the town.
Okay.
I just found the link. It's very easy once you get there. Sorry. I just
Yeah.
listened to Neil's and went to the new
Cool.
website and it's there. So I know exactly where to share
Awesome.
from there.
Great.
Kim, your next job is to send it to one person.
I'm just going to post it on social media. I mean, that's
Do
really
it.
what you do, right? Like the more people we can get to post it, then it's bound to
If
be.
you're willing to do that, that would be awesome. Kim.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's do it.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Great. Like it.
Targeting
Um,
1,000.
Targeting 1,000. That's what we'd like
Should
to.
we hang up posters around places?
I think it would be nice if I appreciate it if you're like walking through, you're at the restaurant or at the bar, you can see the QR code and you can, if you're
Right.
at Atlas or whatever, at the table that you're sitting at your restaurant or,
Right.
Share or Save or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we
Main
don't
Street
want,
Market has a board,
yeah, we don't want to get too big
pizzeria. has a
flood
like a
of people who
window.
aren't from the town at all.
Yeah,
Because
that's
a
true.
lot.
That's
info
true.
to process that's
Yeah,
not
that's
useful.
true.
But it's true, like maybe some of the businesses, those are probably frequented mostly by people who are
Yeah,
around
okay.
here. Of course, this end of town, it's not the other end, but there's no place to
Yeah.
post anything at the
I can
other
see if
end.
Mama said
Oh, yeah, they probably would,
could do it. I can talk to Corey at the Pines,
right,
if
yeah.
he would put it down there.
Yeah, cause that's a lot of local probably, you
Mhm.
know, so maybe some of that too, and trying to do it at the library, Ulysses Library. Maybe just a sign with the QR code in a couple of places, a lot of local people are at the library,
Yeah,
right?
Great.
Do you wanna do that, Liz, ask the Ulysses Library?
Yeah, I
or
can
do we,
apply.
right, okay, just wanna.
so we have that flyer, we can just email it to them to print?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have like a outside billboard, you know, the type that they have on wheels?
Oh, like the marquee board?
Yeah,
Not that I'm aware of.
too bad, because that would be one place to put it,
Yeah,
right out, you know, by either on the main drag or something. We used to do that in my town, we had one, and we used to put whatever we had, we used to put on it, so people can, when they drive by, they read it.
That would be good, I think, for the public forum, just to let people know about that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I don't know what the rules are, but we can
Oh,
put
I
that
don't know.
signage board. I
Yeah.
mean, it's village street, so.
Right, yeah,
Well, you
I
don't
don't-
put it in the village, you can put it outside the village.
Sure. I can ask what the policies are for that,
Okay, yeah, 'cause it's a movable
cause that's also
sign.
96, so I know there's state rules that come into play too.
yeah.
And
About
People aren't going over that
signs
slow
and
for reading
stuff.
too. you know.
Well, you
But
could
they're-
probably put it like it's surefire,
Yeah,
they would probably let you put it out in front of there,
yeah, yeah, no.
because
they've done
other
some
people
stuff.
would put signs right out front
Right,
there.
the parking.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
parking lot for sure, if you have like a busy parking
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And you can probably rent one of those for not too much.
Maybe we have talented people within the town that could build one.
It takes a little bit to build one of those.
yeah. Well, yeah, it makes sense to send it to our stakeholder list, leave it namaste or whatever, and have them put it, you know, share it with their families.
What you could do is ask some of the high school students who are artists to make up posters. And then you can laminate them and then you can put them in different areas.
Yeah, definitely, I was met with somebody yesterday in the high school and trying to see how we can use her advantage of being in the high school to get more youth participation.
Hmm.
Still working on ideas. But,
Okay, great, great. So that's our survey update. Anything else on that? Okay. So now 5A, review draft vision statement.
Yeah, so I sent it to Niels and I believe he sent it to you all, so we have some draft vision statements. We have 5 options, I wasn't at the last meeting, but Matt kind of gave the synopsis of what the discussion was of, you know, looking at the past vision statement and then, you know, hearing of, you know, what you really like about being in Ulysses and what you want to see going forward, so we kept that in mind, so what we have are a variety of vision statements. They all are essentially saying the same thing, they're all aspirational, but they vary in length, they vary in tone. They vary in content a little bit, so the focus of tonight is really taking a look at it and kind of letting you guys pick it apart, per se. Of just, you know, what do you like, what don't you like, you know, are there certain words that, yes, we definitely want to keep this, or this is really important, this definitely should stay. Or no, this doesn't resonate with me, like we should get rid of it. And then ultimately picking a favorite, and then what we'll do from there is based on your feedback. We'll make those edits and then we'll have the same exercise at the public forum so that the public has a chance to weigh in on it as well. So we can take time, I know people kind of started to review it, either a hard copy or on their computers, but I gave you sticky dots. And I have the boards right here in the back, so you can go mark it up however you wish. If there's other notes you want to write on there, you're more than welcome to write that as well, and then we'll debrief on what everyone's thinking.
Okay.
Any questions
So you just want green for the ones we like and red for.
for anything you don't like? And if, like I said, you want to write a note or expand, obviously we'll have a discussion and debrief on it, but if there's anything you want to write on there, you're more than welcome.
Yields, yeah, how long do we have?
Oh,
1 minute.
30, this says 30 minutes,
30, okay.
so.
And
Yes, I figured like, 10 to 15 minutes to kind of mark it up and then we can have probably like a 15-minute
Okay.
debrief, I'm thinking.
Oh, and there's 5 things to read, we just got it, so.
I already read through it, so
I
I know which ones I like and don't.
No, I was at work, so I didn't, so.
That's okay,
Okay.
take your time.
You want us to write on there what we liked about it?
If you want to, yeah, or if you just want to save it for the conversation, that's okay too.
Okay. Oh, on the wandering.
Oh, it's okay, no, you can like mark up the words themselves, but if you have a favorite, something you really like, you can put it on there.
Oh.
That's right. I could know.
Settle down.
If we need more space, I can relocate that.
All that we will create. Afterwards, money. Well, that's what it is.
it is.
Right, we can't create it unless we have money, so. Like this one here. But tic tac toe.
I know,
Mine.
your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good.
Like, lag it.
You're okay.
Very helpful.
Yeah, just.
I was here.
It's forever. How many times am I gonna trip over that?
I just did too.
Do you want me to move it?
No, I just lack awareness.
I was trying to put it like out of the
So
way,
Wednesday.
but
I'm gonna blame it on Wednesday. I like that.
Sorry,
hopefully they.
it's a Wednesday. Oh, well, thanks. How did you guys take all the words that we said last week and come up with like?
It took a lot of time and sitting and thinking and revising, and then I actually sat with, we have someone in our grants department who's actually like an English major, and I sat with her and I like, worked with her too, and then just to get her perspective too of, obviously she's writing grant applications, she gets an idea of like how things are scored and, like what language is, helpful and, it'll apply more to like the implementation phase.
Yeah.
Part when we go through like the matrix of, what are our priority action areas and things like that, but just to hear from her perspective of, what is important to keep in there, so. Definitely, it's challenging, but it's fun, but like I said, I wanted to provide a variety so that, we can get an idea from you guys of, what you like, what you don't like, and what we need to rework, so.
Yeah.
To put it to the public.
And then do you put one statement to the public or you put?
So we could talk
All
about
of
that
them.
if there's, maybe a couple favorites that were like, yeah, we really like these and these are the options we want to put to the public, or if you want the public to look at all of them, so that's an option we can discuss. But usually we give at least 2 to 3 for the public to look at. If they're dots up,
Good enough.
good enough.
Confusing, it's hard,
No, this is great. So it looks like 1 and 5 might be early favorites here, but we can kind of go through just to see, language wise, what was working, what wasn't working. So the red dot on looks like Lake Shore here.
Yeah, oh, it's, we will create.
We will create,
Yeah,
okay.
that, I mean, that,
You kind of talked to me a little bit about it earlier.
right,
what your
it
thoughts are.
sounds like we're going to do it because we have the money, and that's sort of like false. We can't tell people we're going to create it.
Mm.
We would like to create it, or, we'll work towards it, but we just can't create
Don't
it.
want an empty promise
Yeah.
here.
And that would go for any of them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Will create is just not going to make it.
Okay.
Perhaps along that
Understand that.
same line, I feel like maybe like slightly shorter and broader, but that the stuff comes under it without those details
Hmm.
that you seem to be committing to and potentially failing on, because those will be in the plan
Yeah.
itself, but the vision statement.
Yeah,
So
you don't
that- I
want
was struggling a little bit with that, like
Sure.
I like got rid of the multimodal, I put a red dot on the multimodal transportation. It's not because I don't think that's good, but I think it's kind of a detail that I don't know if it needs to be in the vision statement, and it kind of goes under large, broader state. So that was just my sort of,
So potentially having it be a little bit broader, more general, and then
not
obviously,
as long, not as many.
Sure.
details, yeah.
we don't want to commit to anything.
Well, I mean, we want to commit to the sort of the values and the overarching goals.
Right, but you don't want to commit that you're going to be
Right.
building something if you
Yeah.
don't have the money.
Create
People are gonna
inclusive
say, well, how
community
can we do it?
spaces.
Right, or, multimodal transportation, that's, well, only so much of that is within our control anyway. So we value, we'll have it in there, but it's up in the front.
It's something we would work towards.
Right, so, but I think it can go overarchingly under sustainable, development practices and things like that, so. That was just sort of my sense that we don't know what. That point.
that's really helpful. And then there's one here, addressing the needs of residents, is that kind of following along the same thing of like, you know,
I just feel like that was overly,
Yeah,
like, we can't, needs can be determined, or like defined multiple different ways.
Sure.
So
Okay.
a lot of that is not in our control,
right?
but there are things we can help that might help
Yeah.
people meet
Sure.
their needs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think the other, I liked what was being said there, but I feel like some of the other ways that it was done in the other statements was better.
Sure, that's great. And then we are a unique rural community, did someone not like that?
Oh, for me, it was just starting with we. So it was
Okay.
kind of a
Yeah.
basic, feel like the vision statement should not necessarily be like, we the
it
committee
should be the
think.
town of Ulysses.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
the town overall, like as a
As a
town, so I liked the, I liked 5 the best.
Yeah.
As a close knit rural community,
And then you
You know.
could say the town of Ulysses in the beginning though.
yeah,
Right.
and it's
For the
okay if
first
we
sentence,
is later,
yeah.
but not to just
Yeah.
like start your whole vision statement with the word we.
I
Sure.
agree.
And whose red dot is on number 5?
That's mine.
If a
What?
member of our community feels valued and supported, how come?
No, I just think the phrase strive to ensure is very like.
Mhm.
generic.
Oh, that, yeah,
Oh, we
Just
can
those 3
reword
words.
that, we
That-
can
that's the
reword
only
that
thing I
part.
like.
yeah,
Okay.
I just saw it, and I like a gut reflex of like,
Yeah, I
Just
don't like
doesn't read it.
strive,
it's too like
Yeah.
generic for sure.
yeah,
Sure.
I agree,
We can change that for sure.
yeah. Well, and that was the reason I liked 1 and 5, I think the best was because it just felt warm and welcoming. And not just like, just kind of words. It
Right.
just, it felt a little, like it drew me in a little bit more, which I think is important for the.
Yeah, and I know
Statement.
evoking emotion was
So I can
something
remember what I
that
wanted
was
to say.
brought up, so that's like why I said these were gonna vary in tone, just to figure out,
Yeah,
if you do read something like that, like, does it in fact like invoke emotion, and can you resonate with it, and do you feel good about it, so that's.
yeah,
helpful
and I
to know.
really, actually, I appreciated that, like 2, 3, and 4 really felt like just kind of almost curt.
They're too listy.
They're very listy, and that didn't draw me in at all, that was basically saying most of the same stuff. So the whole comp plan doesn't have to be all like warm and welcoming, but the visioning statement.
For sure,
so
You want
maybe we
people to
can
feel good about it.
combine 1 and 5, wording of 1 and 5. And
I feel like, yeah,
some of 1, some of 5, putting it all together, and it might come out. Because 2, 3, and 4 seems like nobody really went over the top for us.
Mhm.
But 1 and 5 seem the ones that we all seem to like, so I think if it was just rearranged a little bit, I
yeah.
think it would be good.
Yeah, and that's exactly the next step. Obviously, you'll want the public to weigh on this too, so like I said earlier. We have an option of, do you want them to see all of the same vision statements, or, is it just like 1 and 5 and maybe like another one? To have them, compare and contrast, that would be the next step, and then once we have that feedback, then that's when we'll kind of put it all together. Maybe it is a combination of 1 and 5, and then you'll have your vision statement.
So on 5,
Mhm.
and then I put that little red dot there so I could remember what I wanted to say there, so again, I think it's just kind of a little long, I mean, even if we. I think it should be a little shorter, a
Mhm.
vision statement, but like you could condense potentially those ideas, like we recognize the need for diverse housing options. And we are dedicated to and we're, like condensing that one with the dedicated to fostering economic development. Just into one sentence that we're committed and
The
dedicated to,
one
as opposed to all that extra detail, it's just long. I
in
think.
number 1, that particular line of development wasn't there. Whereas in years to come, we are committed to supporting economic development. That one might be inserted into that one and that one taken out, because that
Right,
one seems
yeah.
to be a little bit
Right, well, I was just gonna even just condense
That's fine.
committed to the house, like, I just saying, call home and remain part of the community for years to come, I just don't think we need all
Well,
that
yeah,
stuff
I
in the
mean,
vision statement.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
that,
just too long.
I like the dedicated to fostering economic
Yeah.
Yeah.
development initiative that
Well, the
uplift
first
local
one said the
businesses.
same thing
Yeah,
also.
no, I totally like that sentence, I was just thinking, you could almost even say, we recognize the need for diverse housing options, and we are dedicated to fostering economic development initiatives. Like, it could be just like, those are two things that we're
Yeah. a little more
recognize and
succinct.
we're dedicated to, but there, you don't have to have all that other added wording there.
I really liked in 5 how the transportation kind of tied things together to exploring our community and each other. So I like
Yeah.
this over, I had put an X or a red on one of the
Yeah, I
multimodal
don't like those
transportation
two
stuff
either.
there, but I thought this sentence was better. And then the 1 and 3, I mean, I think it was a little too direct, but I like the connect and collaborate. I don't know, like those, that
Right here.
term.
Okay.
I don't know, I feel like that's like a good community.
Yeah, because I think just from being in, and I'm sure, others who have attended the focus groups too, is, there's kind of this desire for connectivity with each other, especially those that are, aging in place or those in rural communities trying to feel more connected with the town. So trying to have those opportunities and then trying to have more third spaces for teens and, just for the community in general. So that's kind of where that collaborative idea came from
It kind
there.
of goes to recreational opportunities and things which we've heard a bunch about in some of the focus groups too. And that kind of encompasses all of that, community centers, rec fields, things for adults.
So what do you do next? You rewrite these?
Yeah, so we can make some edits and then, like I said, we can figure out, I think it's kind of up to you guys, how many you want to have the public view, if it's just a couple or if it's all of them, just to see what their thoughts are too.
I felt like 5 was a lot.
Yeah.
3?
I was thinking
Because it felt like,
Yeah,
it's
typically
it's really
3, like
redundant,
3,
so-
I think is like a good amount to
Yeah.
compare and contrast, so.
5, it starts to get a little confusing.
Yeah, like I said, I just know there was a lot of different thoughts of,
Mm.
the tense, the tone and
Mhm.
things like that, so I just wanna make sure you all had a variety to look at, but we can pick 3, so is there another one aside from 1 and 5 that we wanted to share? And we can work on a little bit.
I'm gonna be the nitpicky wonky person. I was the one that talked about tents with Matt at the last meeting. So if we're down to 2, maybe a third one could be what I see as a vision statement. I mean, and I agree with everyone, like at most you should have 2, maybe 3 sentences. And for me, these all read as mission statements or objective statements. So instead of saying we will create diverse housing options, it'd be like the town has diverse housing options that meet the standards or the needs of all residents. And instead of saying we will proactively promote sustainable practices, it'd be the town does proactively promote sustainable practices. To me, that's a vision statement. Matt said that he thought that community members might be confused by that, so maybe having a third option that has it in a different tense might be one of those options.
Okay. Feel like maybe 3 might be closer to like what you were talking about, and we can kind of rework it a little bit.
Yeah.
Vision statement number 3, that we can kind of rework it, make it a little
Like
bit
1 and
more
5.
succinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So-
a shorter, one that's shorter, broader, like you say, it's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So it'll be 1, 3, and 5? Okay,
I think that makes sense. I'd be curious to see what others think of these, like 5. It talks about like, we mentioned a close-knit rural community and cherished small town character, and I think that's came up a lot when we were talking last month, but I'd be curious on how the general public sees that, if that's actually the case that others see for the town.
It came up a lot in the survey when I had the short answers and things like that, so I think, I think it would resonate with them for sure. But like I said, we'll allow them, to have post-it notes too, and if there's other thoughts of like, hey, you missed this, or have you thought about including this, they'll be able to provide that feedback, similar to how you guys wrote it in and we were able to discuss it.
Right, and I mean, I don't know how, it'll come out with the surveys and all, but this is the only one that specifically. Says we value our farmers and agricultural assets, which at least I'll be interested to hear if that comes out in this round, because it's always come out before, but as I've said on my little broken record, I really do think that that's a thing that we really need to get to the bottom of with this future plan.
Yeah,
And it goes to so many things, how you develop, where you develop.
yeah.
You know,
Well, and I
so-
think it was in the survey, right? It was
Yeah,
in
it's
the
so it's
survey.
like people
Survey,
still
it's a
really
big
want
thing.
that, that's
Right.
really reaffirming, and it perhaps, means, okay, we need to, really be serious about the trade-offs and deal with them with the public and figure it all out, so,
Yeah.
but I think we should leave it in there for now, that sentence. About the, no, not really, not the same. I mean, it says agricultural lands, but that says we value, agricultural assets. and
Do we
farming.
want that, I was gonna say, we can add it into number 5 too, if we want to,
Well,
just
or
so they
just,
see
it might just be sort of a little bit of a change. And it's fine, maybe not, I'm just raising that, because it's always been something that's really,
I
out
do
in
think there's
front.
a difference, again.
What you do is take every sentence, put them all down, and list it. We'll just pick out the sentences.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, they have similar but slightly different, meanings. and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
smooth
there's
them together.
agricultural land is different
Then
than
agricultural
farming.
assets and
right,
farmers,
and
yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
right.
for
I
sure.
think one is more
Yeah,
viewed as
Yeah.
needed and the other one is not.
And
You
we'll
can't have
make
one
sure
without the
to,
other.
'cause
Which
this
one
always
is more
happens.
used needed,
Land,
agricultural land,
not farming.
not farming.
Mhm.
Well, but maybe it is farming, so I mean, that's something to get to the bottom of, I think, so having the discussion, if we had it reading both ways, then people
Yeah.
could give us some input on that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, we'll make sure too that we have an info board that explains what a vision statement is, because sometimes people don't understand what it is and they're like, this isn't us at all, like, what are you talking about? Like, this is a bunch of baloney, and it's like, once you explain that it's aspirational, this is what you wanna be in the future,
yeah.
then they start thinking about it a little bit differently, so we'll make sure that that is clear and people understand that. Obviously, we'll be on hand that if they have questions or, need a little bit more clarification.
Maybe
we're
we
able to
could
help
have
them.
the example of the one that we have in the 2009 one there too.
Yeah, we
so
can have
people
the
could-
past one so they can
Could
see.
see that
Mhm.
and what.
That was
we're
4
looking at.
sentences.
Yeah, it was shorter for sure,
Yeah, we can have
It's
that.
it probably is the length of 3.
right? So I think that's useful, just for people to compare and see if we're going, in the same
Mhm.
direction or a different one. That's right. What are you laughing at?
Oh, no, I was
Oh,
just,
something about our vision,
Yeah.
our other vision statement.
And then maybe, I know there's folks who, obviously are attending remote or weren't able to be here, we can maybe give them a few more days if they wanna read through. And they can email their thoughts to Niels and share that with me, or, if folks think of other thoughts, that maybe they didn't think of right now. You can share those with Niels and we use that for editing.
Yeah, okay.
that sounds good.
Okay, so that was 5A. Is there anything else we need to state or close out next steps with that? Everybody's. What's happening?
That vision statement does have we will, so it's.
Yeah, yeah. We might.
Interesting.
We're gonna try.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, as opposed
Hopefully.
to the tensing that.
Yeah.
that, Niels was suggesting, it's just interesting,
Yeah,
to me, I hadn't read it in a while.
okay, anything else?
I think that's it for that.
Okay, so the next item, which was the review final draft existing conditions report, is being pushed to next meeting. That would be B. So C is the public forum, number 1, preparation.
Yes, so we will wanna secure a date and think about possibly a venue, we'll wanna think about the time, just so we can start preparing, like I said, we can do flyers to help advertise it and get the word out. I know Neil said there's gonna be postcards, but we definitely wanna lock that in sooner rather than later, so
when do you expect to have this forum?
We were thinking, I think we were thinking possibly March.
The only thing about March is the weather. It could be, you know, if we have a bad snowstorm that weekend, nobody's gonna show up. It could be a little iffy in March.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of about March.
It could snow in May.
Well,
It
yeah.
does. So,
April,
yeah,
When's spring
April
break?
spring break.
yeah, April's hard
And
because
Easter. It's the 14th to the 18th of spring break for Trumansburg School District.
And
And
Easter's on
I
the
think
20th.
Ithaca School District will be the same, I could. check.
right, and then there's a bunch of
Is that
Earth
April?
Day, Earth Care Day things,
Mm.
and there's, I think we're gonna be having a septic and well public workshop information session in the town in April also, so. Or perhaps early May, so it might not be. It's
So
right
we're
around.
looking at dates.
Yeah, just dates that you think would work, and then also just get an idea of what days of the week we might wanna shoot for as well. Typically, we have it run for about 2 to 3 hours. It's an informal drop-in format, so we'll have a lot of interactive exercises. Usually we have some pizza and snacks. It's family friendly, so we do encourage families to come and they can kind of come at their leisure. We have folks that are like, hey, I have 10 minutes and I know what boards I want to interact with, and they do their thing. We have people who stay the whole time and, you know, fill out the survey, do all the exercises. It's a good opportunity for just like networking, collaborating, that people have a lot of lively discussions. So usually that 2 to 3 hours is pretty, I wouldn't go any longer.
Is
than
the
that.
usual a weekend, like a Sunday afternoon? Or
So
it's the
we've
usual
done it in the
Tuesday?
evening, we've done like kind of like a 4:30 to 7:30 range, kind of like after school, after work, people are usually able to get there. We can do weekends, it's just people are busy on the weekends, usually doing other things, and they, you know, usually don't have as great of a turnout. The only other option is like if you have like a really big event that you know there's a lot of foot traffic that you kind of want to piggyback off of. You could, but sometimes people find it more beneficial to have this be its own standalone event.
Oh. I don't think we have any big events until the summer.
Okay.
Ithaca School District and Trumansburg School District are on the same spring break, so that's the 14th to the 18th.
Okay.
Easter this year is the 20th.
The 20th, yeah.
So probably want to stay away from mid-April.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
I
agree
would
with that.
either look at March or like the first week in April.
I have on my calendar that we maybe already highlighted the 19th and the 20th of March. Did I make that up myself?
Maybe.
Might have.
30 to 7:30, I blocked both of those times. for some
Really?
reason.
19th
March-
and 20th of March?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It must have been just having my own private planning.
That gives us 6 weeks.
19th and 20th, that's after St. Patrick's, after St. Patty's Day.
Right after, yeah. And the town, no, there's not a town, it's the off week of the town board.
There's actually no school on the 21st either. It's a conference day.
Oh, okay.
Lucky
Oh, well,
kids.
maybe you should have it on the 20, oh, but that's
I
just
mean, it's just
Trumansburg,
the
but still.
I think I can look.
I don't know if that makes that easier or harder for parents to be out the night before.
They don't have school on the 14th.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
Ithaca.
okay, so.
And I think it'd also be dependent to the venue. I know we've used the fire hall for public forum or for the focus groups. I don't know, it seems to work really well. I think it's a good space. Maybe that's a potential place that we could have the public forum, unless there's other thoughts of other spaces we wanted to be.
The parking is just the only issue there. You have to really make sure to direct
Yeah.
people not to park in front of the.
Right.
It's limited parking there, so we have to, but we could, you know, have people park. Maybe we can get the church up the road there to let
Is
people
that
park there.
farmer's market too far away to walk?
A little, probably.
Because that's, I mean, they have,
Depends on the
you know,
weather.
a lot of
Yeah,
parking there.
right.
Yeah.
What, I mean, just thinking of everybody to the south. What about Rackers?
Yeah, I mean, years ago, we had stuff there for comprehensive plans and other big things, and then they stopped. For a
Yeah.
while doing things with COVID, like letting, but they might, I mean. And when we were doing the campaigns on solar Tompkins and things, we had meetings there, so they let you rent the space. But then they stopped because of COVID, but it would be worth an ask because they have a really nice big space
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
And they have parking.
Yeah,
It's
they
just
have
off
a
the
lot
beaten
of
path. The only
parking.
thing I'm thinking of is if it was on 96, if it was in Ulysses Square or something, I don't know if there is something there.
Yeah.
Where people can just come in
Mm,
on their way and not have to like go walk down the, not that Racker is that far off the beaten.
Not
path.
even, it's only a quarter of a mile. off
Yeah,
the
it's
96,
not that
not
far, but
And you can put a sign out saying, meeting tonight, that type of thing.
It is a nice large space
Yeah.
with a lot of parking.
What's in the? Does Smart Start have anything? I've never been in the new building.
I don't
Which
either.
building?
Smart Start, the nursery school right on 96, right at between Jacksonville and the
It
village.
used to be the
Yeah.
golf course, the little mini golf.
Yeah, they have that building. They own that building now too, actually. But I was,
Both, yeah.
they have the big,
Mhm.
but I've never been in there. I'd ask Hillary.
Yeah, that might be a easy spot to. I don't know.
I mean, parents are there picking up their kids. They can just
stay
come
on.
right
and-
over, but I don't know.
Um,
I have no idea what they're.
How about Mama said? They have their
Pretty
dining
small.
room is pretty good size.
A lot, yeah, I don't know what.
And they have, I mean, there's parking there. And
Yeah.
It is on 96, that's just another alternative, let's
Yeah.
put it that way, we can think of all of them.
No, for sure.
Yeah, there's the church that we vote at or used to vote at. Up, you go past Mama said,
Right.
up the hill there.
I don't
Take a
think
lot
there's
of
anything in
That's probably as off
Jacksonville,
the
is there?
path as.
That's right.
Is there,
Rackers.
how about one of the churches?
Presbyterian Church in Jacksonville.
I mean, that-
Jacksonville Church in.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Definitely
that
has
is
room.
in the back.
There's,
Yeah,
they don't have a lot of parking though. It's all
The
up
only
the
thing
street.
about the fire hall too is I think Wednesdays are their training nights. So
Oh,
we might not be able to get in there on a Wednesday night, but we can do Thursday.
Mhm.
They feel like Wednesdays are their training nights.
I know
So-
there really just aren't a lot of
There's not a lot of.
public building spaces and. Or rentable spaces even.
No, we don't have a community center, so.
Ulysses. Enfield has a nice
That was
one,
just a
but
little.
we
bit.
can't really have our meeting in them.
Yeah.
We tried.
They
I
have a
know.
good one.
Yeah.
But that actually was not gonna be a community center. There was never gonna be a building.
Conservatory
So-
is under construction.
So the only places would be the fire, Riker, or
Jacksonville Church.
something Mama said,
School?
or the school, if they let us use the auditorium,
Or the cafeteria.
yeah.
We've
Or one of
got
the
stuff in the
churches, if they let
cafeteria
us use it.
before.
Cafeteria floor.
Well, if you're gonna have tables and stuff, the auditoriums don't work as well.
Right, especially because like we usually have like pizza and refreshments that, we try to have it that people can like sit down and have something.
When is,
School auditorium,
when
I
is
mean,
school break?
cafeterias have.
April, when?
Well, if they have off on the 21st, then the Thursday, the 20th might.
I mean, the one benefit
might
of being at
be
the school is
interested
that
in
you're
that.
gonna catch the people who are picking up, I mean, a better chance to be catching the people picking up their
Well, look,
kids from.
When there's
practice
school
or
break,
whatever.
it could be done. When the school is closed.
Spring break
I think we
is.
wanna
A
do
lot
it
of people
during
go on
break.
vacation
Yeah,
next
so
time.
we go
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Do they? Well,
Yeah.
Are we,
okay.
we're having 2 public meetings, is that right?
Yeah, usually we do one, usually we do two, so usually the first one is kind of going over the vision statements, it's a lot of those SWOT analysis that we've done. With our focus group so that the public has a chance to also weigh in, and then the second one is usually more so. Looking at your policy action areas, your core areas and kind of what are some overarching themes of, what you're gonna focus your implementation on.
So I wonder if we can look into the Racker Center too, and then like have one, if we have one up here, one down at the other end of town, that's really the only option at the upper end of town.
Yep.
So just to be balanced and all, we can look into whether they do that. One of us could call them and say, in general, they're renting the space out now. If they're not, then
March would probably be okay to get into the schools, just trying to think of what sports and activities. Maybe mostly
I think they're mostly outside for the most part.
in March, they're either done or haven't started yet.
well, you said they didn't have school on the 21st, right?
No.
So the 20th, maybe that's a little easier, like they won't mind, or the custodial staff and things like that. If, because they have to open school in the morning.
Yeah, it's conference day, so teachers will go in.
Right, but
But
I
they
mean,
might
it's
still-
not as much like,
Yeah.
it's not as big a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball starts. But that's outdoors.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I don't know if they do that anymore in school, but. We have had things there in the past and. In round tables in the cafeteria.
So we'll hold, sounds like the
That's
19th and 20th,
an
but
idea.
you guys can figure out, you know, from the different venues, what the availability is, and then. Once we finalize that, like I said, we can right away start helping with the flyers to advertise it and get the word out and post it on the website.
Yeah, is that gonna give us enough time? We really, I guess so, I mean, if, as long as we make
You
that
really got to
decision.
get on it, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we make that decision?
Yeah, how do we make that decision?
Not here, since we're not here in this meeting, I guess.
I can send out another, well, with the email, I'll send an email for more comments from the other committee members for the vision statements, and at the same time ask for thoughts on whether this meeting should be done like at Racker, or if we should use Racker for the second meeting, public workshop. Sounds like the school really would be the best option if we can get there for at least one of them. And then just contact them. I'd like to get that done though within a week, so that we can
I was
have
gonna
as
say,
much
I wouldn't
time.
push it any later than like next Friday,
Yeah.
like we should have a decision, and that way we can start blasting it out.
Yeah,
So who's gonna look into the possibility of using those spaces? We just need to make sure we have somebody doing it if we need to know something.
I
Right,
can reach out to Racker.
okay.
I don't know about school though. Do you have contact at the
Yeah.
school?
Yeah, I can. I don't know the new high school principal, but yeah, I can reach out to the schools.
Or I can ask Rachel. Too.
And then.
Rachel's in the schools. She might, I can talk, yeah, between us, we can tag team. I can
Okay.
reach out to the superintendent and she's in the schools. I can talk to the schools. That'd be great.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna ask Recker?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you can just ask to kind of like what time frame works for them, I think anywhere between 7:30 to 4:30 to 7:30. Usually a pretty good time frame. You know, you get, you know, people who just got out of work, people maybe who have to pick up their kids a little bit later and then they can make it in. I wouldn't go any later than that, so we can get something in that time frame. I think that would be really great.
March 19th or 20th. Okay. And we need to decide by
No, we.
the 14th.
The 14th,
Valentine's Day.
And so just FYI, I'm at a conference all next week, so I leave in a couple of days and I'm pretty much just like out of pocket all next week. So I'll just go with whatever everyone decides. Like if you don't hear from me, that's why.
And you're okay with it? You had already blocked up those dates.
I did,
Yeah.
I don't even. Don't think I just invented them in my head, but maybe I did. Okay, anything else on the public forum?
I think that's it. I think it's just, like I said, kind of sorting
More
through
next
those
steps?
logistics.
So then 5D is joint visioning session number 2, confirmation of direction.
Let's touch base on the focus group for
Oh, focus group 4, yeah.
that timeline. And you're available on March.
March, I'm available, yeah. It's just
Oh.
late February, I'll be away.
So we're working on the
Oh.
lists. With the first week of March. work for you.
That was for me.
To March 3rd.
Do you have a list started
I don't know, I'm just thinking.
and ideas to?
We have several that we started with the ag, when we were
Yeah.
trying to work through getting the ag committee started up. For land use, that's really more planner wonky, so we have, folks at the county planning department that we can add.
Right.
For that, probably vision, I'm not sure who at the village. If there's a town board member, planning board member or something that might be interested in that one. But for ag stuff,
Right, we had talked at like 2 meetings ago about like making a big list of people who either do farm here or who.
Yeah, we have
who's
a
done things.
draft of that.
Could you send that to me? So, because I had some ideas too, to see if there's any other ones that we were not.
So you said first week of March, I know we've been doing Fridays and we usually get a pretty big turnout, or is that what you wanna do, or is there a different day of the week that works better?
When I was talking to some folks, and I don't know what your flexibility is, they thought in order to get some of the farmers and an evening meeting would be easiest, not a lunch,
Okay,
but I don't know what your flexibility is.
I can do that if you just like let me know what day. Obviously, we'll have our meeting on the 5th, so any night that's not the
Do we
5th.
wanna just, that's why I threw out the 3rd, on March 3rd.
Oh, okay, like the evening of March.
3:30. Easy to remember, I don't know, I'm just throwing a date out.
It's 3:30 on March 3rd, you said?
So that's a Monday.
Yeah, Monday, the
Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday, I've got meetings that week.
Okay, so March 3rd. And then
Wednesday's this meeting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, I was like, not the 5th, because we have our meeting.
Tuesday at youth commission.
And then what time frame were you looking at?
6:30 to 8. I don't know, I forget how long the other sessions were.
We could do about it, I mean, we have flexibility if it's in the evening, I mean, I try to keep it at an hour and a half just because I know people have to get back to work, so we have a little bit more flexibility, but I think an hour and a half.
6:30 to 8.
We could do that.
I don't know. What do you think, Niels? What do you guys think?
What time?
6:30 to 8 on a
On
Monday night,
what Monday? I'm sorry.
the 3rd.
Oh, the 3rd. Yeah. 6:30 though?
I think that's how we'll get some of the farmers.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Not
true,
much.
yeah. Yep.
They won't take breaks. Sunsets at 5:59.
That's a
Getting
busy
there.
week. No, that's third. then
So I'll
planning
pencil
board,
that
that's
in my
that.
calendar.
And then this.
Yeah.
The day after.
Yeah.
And those are all in person, there's no hybrid
Yeah.
Zoom option.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
usually in
joining.
person just
Really
because it's
hard to
pretty
use.
interactive, and with the discussions, it's a lot
Mhm.
easier to have it in person.
And you'll have, and there's food.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think we would just have to figure out the venue we would want to do.
I think the fire hall for that's been pretty easy.
Okay,
Do you wanna reach out to Jess or do you want me to?
as I say, I'll reach out to just make sure that time and date works. Okay.
Alright.
So this focus group is, it's rural,
And land use.
lands in agriculture.
rural land use and agriculture. Okay.
Alright, anything more on that? Good, sorry, I skipped over that, Niels. Okay, next one now
Wait,
is.
I was just gonna ask one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe you guys talked about this and I missed this discussion. But we could get maybe from, the Ag and Farm, Tompkins County, and the Farm and Protection Board, like the list of farmers that are, you know, that they have that are in.
Yeah, I
this,
think we
so
have that, that's one of the
and-
lists we have,
Yeah.
for now
Right.
cooperative extensions list.
Yeah, okay, and then maybe some of the businesses that relate to
Yep.
it too, and the ones that, if you just send me the one you have on. I have it on my desk at home, the list, I was thinking about it the other day, but I forgot. Cause we didn't have another ag meeting since
Nope.
whatever that last one was, right? Okay. All right, yeah. Like, and would it even make sense to invite, like, I don't know if they could come, but like the Main Street Mart, like people who are selling the products, local agricultural products, people from the farmers market. You know, because it kind of all relates into how ag works and what you can do to make it work better and stuff like that.
Being inclusive.
Yeah, I don't know if
Makes
there's a
sense.
farmer market person contact or just,
There
Yeah.
is the village.
yeah. Anyway, just that was another thought.
I like that idea. Um. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, so now I think we're on to D, 5D joint visioning session number 2, confirmation of direction.
So was that something Matt brought up last time, Niels?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was going to be after, obviously, the first workshop,
So maybe like April,
probably in April
okay,
at this point,
okay, and then did it work out well doing it like before the meeting, but like before our steering committee, or was it too much and you wanna do it a different day? Definitely have enough time that we could, sort through what works best, cause I certainly don't want anybody being like overly drained out either.
It sounded like it worked better before the committee versus town board. Is that still the case?
Thanks, so,
Okay.
I mean, I was fine with the little longer session.
Okay.
It's hard to find other days. I mean, we already know
Yeah,
That you're
we
all
are gonna
fairly
be here,
yeah,
Okay.
although we haven't scheduled our April meeting.
no,
I don't have it on my, I have it as. the
I have
second.
April
So somehow
2nd.
things appear on the our calendar.
I know, it's just like the magical, what'd you have for,
I have April
oh,
2nd.
I have April 2nd also.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we can just maybe do like that 4:30 start time.
And I can talk with Tom.
Yeah, okay.
I might not bring it up yet. That's.
And I can check with Matt if that works for him too, that time.
Okay. So we're penciling April 2nd, 4:30 to 5:30 at the town
right,
board.
so we're changing that one.
um,
5:30 to
review
4:30.
our joint visioning session with the town board. And then our
Oh, you can't change it.
comp plan meeting would be 5:37.
Yeah, you have to change the invite.
I was gonna say, I think a while back,
We must have sent out some invites, cause that's what
we penciled in the first Monday or first Wednesdays,
Yeah.
and we're gonna confirm
Mm,
as we went along. Because I don't have that March was actually confirmed, but I think generally the first Wednesday seems to have been working for folks.
So, yeah, I have
Right.
March 5th, so if we're just talking about that right now, like
Right.
March 5th is on my calendar
Yeah.
for our next meeting. Does that work for everybody? And then the next one would be April 2nd.
Okay.
Does that work?
Could you change that invite, Niels, to be 4:30 for
4:30.
the to April 2nd?
Yep.
'Cause you can't change it.
Yeah,
It just-
and then I don't have anything for May. So I don't
you
know if we
can't
wanna,
edit it.
if you wanna just wait until next meeting to talk about it.
We have.
We have May 7th is on there.
Yeah, okay, I don't have it on mine, so,
I think I just have it like reoccurring.
Yeah, it's
Every
reoccurring,
first
yeah.
Wednesday,
Yep.
that's the way it looks on my phone.
Make that.
So for the
Show.
visioning one, though, Roxanne, I'll send out a separate one like I did
Yeah.
last time, because
There's two of
Oh,
them.
right, 'cause it's a
Town
separate
board.
invite
At
here.
the state fair.
Yeah.
The big one, and then there's another one.
all right, so we're just gonna say first Wednesday, 5:37. Till the end of
The
time.
year.
The end of time, yeah.
End of the year, not the end of the time.
We'll be
A
meeting,
meeting in the old.
that's right, that's right.
Well, we'll have a
I
community
might be a
room.
little late next month, just. Or here in Manchester.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know where we are anymore. So that was the joint visioning session number 2, so we're done with that. So it looks like we're done with new business items. Next step 6A, priorities discussion SWOT for land use and rural issues. Do we have anything more? Did we already talk about that?
I think we were just gonna plan to do that at the next meeting that we have.
Okay, So that'll be in
In
March, okay. And then,
After our
That
focus
was
group 4.
be
on
after
Monday.
that.
okay.
Oh, right, it'll be just 2 days after.
And then 6B, review draft chapters.
Next
It's
Ready?
available.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
available next
Yeah.
month, yeah.
Okay, so that'll be next month, and then C, public forum, number 1, vision and policy framework. Do we have anything we have to talk about there?
That's just our,
Our goal for,
yeah, for that, wherever we decide, Riker or the school, that's what that is.
That's the topic is vision and policy framework. So we're gonna have the honed down vision statement by then.
The three.
options.
Yeah, so
three
what was
options.
the progression on this was for our next meeting, you're gonna have. Do we go through this one more time?
Yeah, so I
Before
can get
the-
folks to like, probably,
before
I'd say like
this.
the end of the week, you know, to kind of go through, if you have any other thoughts or folks that weren't here, they can have a chance to
right,
take a look and send their thoughts, and then we'll rework definitely the ones that we want to have available at the public forum,
But,
and then we can,
but we'll talk about it again at the.
at
our
the next meeting, yeah,
Before the public,
exactly, we'll
finalized.
have it, yeah.
so we'll sort of finalize.
You'll see it,
before the
exactly.
public. Okay, yes, I was just trying.
So that would be important. to
yeah,
have
because
on
that'll
the
be
agenda.
close, that'll be just a couple weeks.
And then I can
after we
also just
meet,
give a
so
run
couple weeks
through.
after that.
Right, yeah,
And then I can just give a run through of the exercises that we would be
Right.
doing too, so you have an idea of how they work. A lot of them you'll be very familiar with because there's SWOT analysis that we've already done here and at the focus groups. But then usually there's a couple other exercises we have in there just because, obviously we'd like to have the steering committee be present if they can be, just so people can meet you guys, ask questions, and then, like I said, you know, if they want help throughout the exercise, they're able to talk to me or talk to you guys. Sounds good.
Okay, well, I think that
it's like a plan.
wraps up 6, next step, so 7, item 7 is member reports. So does anyone have any member reports?
The only,
Oh, other than this in the works, workshop on well and septic maintenance and giving people information on how to do testing and get resources. And it looks like that's probably going to be in late April or early May. So that'll be good because it'll be something we can let people know about too.
Okay, thank you. Anything
And
else?
I'll make a motion.
hold on.
Neil
Oh,
said
sorry.
that.
Sorry,
Um,
say something.
Yeah.
We have a new second deputy supervisor, if I have that title right, Tressa Naylor. And she will be at some point getting us dates for training, so for 2025. Community members need to do some training. Expecting that to happen sometime between March and June. But she will be our contact point for that.
All right, great, I think that's it.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, Roxanne, thank you, all in favor?
Yep.
Aye. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kim.
Bye, Diane.